Good morning, it's Ayya Vimala, and it's Tuesday, September 29th, and I'm coming to you from Crystal Lake in northern Illinois. So, beautiful weather here. We're going into fall this week, so I hope your weather, wherever you are, is conducive to living well. The tragedies in Northern California and all over California with the fires and above up into Oregon and Washington. Still really shocking to see pictures of those fires, and we really need to be sending our compassion and our prayers, dedicating our practice to all of the beings. I keep thinking about not only the people, because I know a lot of people in California, but all of the animals, the creatures, and the effects that are happening to people, a lot of distance away, and it just is a lot. And I think this is one of those situations where there may be things we can do in terms of helping people after the fires are over. But right now, most of us can only sit and be witnesses to it and send compassion. And don't think that sending compassion is an empty gesture. We really have to believe that is when we send our good thoughts, when we send goodwill, when we practice loving kindness practice, when we send compassion, when we send any of the energy that we put forward in our practice, in our prayers, in our actions, in our thoughts. Don't feel that isn't helping. We sometimes don't know where it helps or when it helps, but we know that there is something that we're doing. It isn't empty. It's not just good for us. That there is resonance out in the world when that energy changes. So sometimes that's all we can do, and so don't think that that's not a very important thing to do. So today, when we practice, we'll send compassion to the people suffering, and not only in California, but when we think about the fires there and the evacuations and just entire cities being wiped out, we know this is happening all over the world, and we're not so familiar with it. But think of the hurricanes, the flooding. Now these fires, we've seen this year after year, but we've seen this in different parts of the world over and over and over, and it feels, the closer it gets to us, right, the more we're aware of feeling it. So be a good witness, but be a good practitioner, and keep sending your good thoughts to the people and the animals, the creatures, the beings in the sky and in the land and in the seas and the waters, the rivers, the lakes, and all of the creatures who live in the trees and the underbrush and are such a big part of our earth. So we're moving into October. Tomorrow's the last day in September. It seemed like the summer moved a tiny bit slower, or am I just imagining that? So today I'd like us to start with our intentions for today, because I think this is always a good reminder. And it's a way to practice, to remember your precepts every day. And you can live by these precepts, whether you're Buddhist or not, and whether you've officially taken precepts. These are just ways to live a good life, and to have that, to have a daily way to remember that. I think is really beautiful, because it's so easy to get sidetracked, right? To get caught up in emotions, to get caught up in a conversation. You might join some people for coffee, or you might be talking to a neighbor, and it's so easy to get caught up in negativity. And if we're practicing every morning our intentions for the day, the more we do that, the more that's right there with us, and we're less likely to get caught up in that kind of conversational negativity. We all do that at times, and sometimes it's just a way to be part of the group, and sometimes we get caught up in an emotion that later we think, I don't really want to be that negative about things, and I'd rather have a little bit more of a looking forward to something better kind of attitude. So let's start with these. What are my intentions for today? And I remembered I got this from a book of Sylvia Borstein, and she's a wonderful teacher. I had a chance to be at a one-day workshop with her when I was living at Mahapajapati, and it was in Palm Springs at their Insight Meditation Center in the desert. And I got to meet her, and I won one of her books in a raffle. But she's such a wonderful person. It's a wonderful memory. It was a great day. She's a wonderful teacher and therapist, and she's written several books. So, what are my intentions for today? On behalf of myself and all beings, I intend to refrain from consciously hurting anyone. I intend to refrain from overtly or covertly taking what is not mine. I want to be sure that my speech is kind as well as true. I intend to refrain from addictive behaviors that confuse my mind and lead to heedlessness. And those are the precepts in a nutshell. And it really helps us see, here's what I'm going to do today, and here's what I want to refrain from today. So our addictive behaviors, remember, that can be shopping, food. Maybe an addictive behavior is getting into conversations that kind of don't go anywhere, or some of those negative conversations. It can be about our sexual behavior. So we know in the precepts that we take from the Buddha's teachings, one is to not engage in inappropriate sexual relationships. And I think we can cover that with I intend to refrain from addictive behaviors that confuse my mind and lead to heedlessness. Sometimes that can be part of why we can make mistakes in the sexual relationships that we get into. I don't get into them anymore, but you know what I'm saying. So, what are my intentions for today? Remember my wish. We haven't visited my wish. At the end of our time today, I'm going to read my wish again. We had our second book group last night, and it was a great group, and wonderful comments. I really want to get, we're going to take it slowly. We all read the first 4 chapters. We really wanted to spend more time, so in 2 weeks we'll be reading a few more chapters, but we're going to focus on chapters 3, 4, and 5 and 6. They're small chapters, but we're reading it slowly and over because there's a lot in it. There's a lot. Every sentence is pretty potent. So in 2 weeks, join us for the book club. You do need to sign up so you can get the Zoom link, but there's no charge for it, and you can go to the Blue Lotus Facebook page or the website, Blue Lotus Temple. And it was wonderful. We had people from all over. Or as one person said, we have several mini zip codes represented. But it was a nice discussion, and people had lots of interesting things that they had pulled out from it. And, you can always keep going. We're keeping it to an hour, and I think that'll keep it, we can stay on point, and we'll take as much time as we want, as many sessions as we want to cover the book, so we don't rush it. So I'd like to do our metta practice, and I'd like to combine it. This is from the book, the meditation, I think, is from Bhante Sumedho. It might be from another one of the monks who were part of this little mini book, 62 pages. But I'd like to combine it with compassion today, because I think we're all feeling, we need compassion. We need it for ourselves, because we're still in this situation. Here it is fall, and we're still dealing with COVID-19 numbers rising, and some states higher than it's ever been. And we're dealing with part of the United States and terrible trauma and disaster, and that's continuing. It's not like a hurricane that lasts and then the recovery may be very long, but that event of the hurricane doesn't go on for months. So we need this compassion, not just for ourselves, which is it's okay to need compassion for ourselves. And we know how we can develop that, but we really need to have compassion for our world and for everybody in it and all the creatures in it. So let's do that. I'm going to combine the loving kindness, but focus on compassion, okay? So close your eyes. Just be in a position where you're comfortable and relaxed. Now, don't forget, just because we're doing a different meditation, don't forget to keep your hand on your belly. Be aware of your body breathing naturally more and more into your belly. Stop for a few moments. Let everything go. Let your back be straight. Close your eyes if you can. Just feel the rhythm of the breath as it enters and leaves the body. Let yourself let go of past and future and come into the present moment, being with exactly what is right now. Just what is right now going on. Bring your attention to the feeling of the body, accepting it just the way it is, with kindness. Allow yourself to accept all the sensations and feelings completely. Breathe in deeply with a sense of trust and well-being. As you breathe out, let go of tension, allowing tightness to dissolve. And let your focus be on your natural breath, the feeling of your body breathing in and breathing out. by light. Being with the sensation of the body, breathing in, breathing out. Draw the light into the body as you breathe. Maybe as you breathe in through your nostrils, or imagine it that you're breathing that light directly into your heart or into your head. Just imagine the light saturating the body through every pore. Think to yourself, may this being be well. May this being be calm. Let your body fill up with this calm and kindly attention. And may this being have compassion for self. We know there are always people who are in a more difficult situation, maybe a lot more suffering than we have. We know there's always someone who's worse off or needs more than we need. But don't let that keep you from sending compassion to yourself. Have that kindness, that attention that you can give to yourself. Feel for yourself. Be sure you're not passing over yourself to move out and have compassion for others. Just like loving kindness, compassion has to begin with self-compassion. That may be hard for a lot of us, because we'll interrupt our feeling self-compassion by thinking, oh, there's so many people in a worse situation than me. That doesn't matter. To develop this quality, to be able to send it out to others, we have to understand how it feels when we have compassion for ourselves. That feeling is good and it warms us. It's kind of a there, it's okay, there feeling. And we all need that. We all are going through new situations, difficult situations. So as you breathe in and out, have that feeling of tenderness for yourself. Recognize we have our own needs. We have all kinds of things going on in our lives. Begin with the feeling, and then with any feeling like this, loving kindness, compassion, that sympathetic joy and equanimity, all of these are qualities we feel for ourselves. We need them, we own it, that these are qualities we want to develop. But then there's no limit to these. And that's why we can send them out. But we have to know what it feels like to receive them. And we know then that other people want that same feeling. Now bring up an image in your daily situation, at home, with your loved ones, or wherever you are with people. People you like or dislike, feel conflict with, love, fear, or worry for. May these beings be well. And may these beings feel compassion being extended to them. May my compassion for these beings, the ones that I live with, that I see every day, may I have compassion for them. And may they be able to feel compassion in their own hearts. Put aside any aversion or fear, worry or guilt. Right at this moment, allow yourself to be kind and compassionate. Let the qualities of metta and karuna just move forward, starting with the people you see every day. Now think of someone you know who is having a difficult time. Send these feelings of kindness and compassion towards them. Breathe in that light and breathe out kindness and compassion to someone you know who is going through a difficult time. Gradually open up, open your heart, open your mind. Open up more and more from the people you see every day to just nobody special. And even those for whom you hardly have a memory. Recognize each of them as human beings with ambitions, hopes, problems, anxieties, joy, just like you, just like me. Give them life in your thoughts. And moving even further out, acknowledge all the people you can conceive of in this world. This may first be very faint, but keep opening up your heart to allow them into consciousness, to be felt. All the people, all the living beings in this world. When we open up our consciousness to recognize, to acknowledge them, it's a very big shift. We're moving way out beyond our safety zone, often into uncharted territory. See what the mind does, how it may react indignantly about some people. Let go of that indignation just for this practice, if that's all you can do. Allow a sense of peace to envelop all beings, the liked, the disliked, familiar and unfamiliar. And then to all of these beings, send those feelings of goodwill and compassion, the same compassion you have developed for yourself. You can be able to send that same feeling of warmth and caring and really wanting the best for them. You can send that out to all those people, all those living beings. Everyone in this world, every being in this world. Now imagine being way out in space and viewing our planet and the surrounding atmospheres and the moon out there, that we're looking out into space, out from space, back down at our Earth. Extend the same sense of peace and compassion. It's peace and goodwill, but it's also caring for the very struggles and the difficulties that all of these beings are going through, and having a heart ready to help when you can help. Extend the sense of peace and compassion to the planet, embracing it with your heart and surrounding it with light. Turning your attention to that sense of peace and light, allow it to extend outwards without limit. Letting the sense of me and the world dissolve in the stillness of the present. Now turn your attention back in towards itself, upon the feeling of knowing the screen of the mind, the place where images arise. Let it be quite empty or full, choiceless, being illuminated by the soft light from the heart, light from the breath. And just as you come back to the rhythm of your breathing, I'll read my wish. May I become at all times, both now and forever, a protector for those without protection, a guide for those who have lost their way, a ship for those with an ocean to cross, a sanctuary for those in danger, a lamp for those without light, a place of refuge for those who lack shelter, and a servant to all in need. By means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the unwise, only the wise, until the time I attain Nibbana. Keep sitting if you can, if you have time, but have a beautiful day and feel that heart of kindness and compassion for the whole day, and it'll take you away from your own issues, the things that you might be worrying about, and will let you be able to focus on others. And that'll be a good break, right? We all need it. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. I'll see you Thursday.